And I'm joined now by eNCA reporters Aviwe, Mtila and Manqoba, Mchunu, who are getting all the action from a number of angles. Aviwe, good evening to you first. Tell us a little bit more about what we can expect this evening and what party officials are saying.
Hello, Sally. The program's a bit delayed here. Now the start set for 6 p.m. President still, though, speaking at 7 p.m. as the African National Congress launches its manifesto in the city of Tshwane. In fact, it says that it's reclaiming Tshwane in these local government elections following their bloody defeat back in 2016. It's not the only metro that they lost in. In fact, they only got an outright majority in the eThekwini Metro, Buffalo City and Mangaung, losing key metros such as the Johannesburg or having to go into coalition government in Ekurhuleni, unprecedented times back in 2016. Just to join me now to unpack some of what we can expect is the head of elections, Fikile Mbalula. Thank you for joining us at eNCA Mkhulu. But we're expecting, of course, promises here of what the party will do, but the reality on the ground in many communities when it comes to service delivery issues, water, sanitation, has been bleak for decades now. Why should the electorate believe what's going to be said here?
Well, first let me clarify you that the program is not delayed. We said 5 to 9. The president will speak at 7. Our program will start at 6 o'clock. So it's not delayed. There's no delay. Let's clarify that point first. And then why the people must vote for the ANC. It is voting for service delivery, and at the same time where the ANC have demonstrated reputable service delivery, water, sanitation, and we have delivered electricity to our people, free housing, and all of that. Of course, it is not enough, and there are still challenges. We admit on that, but we have been deposed out of power in the past 5 years, as you know. Here in Tshwane and other areas, as you mentioned, we don't govern. But where we govern, we can speak for our track record in terms of what we have brought to our different communities.
But communities like Soweto, for example, and the electricity woes will beg to differ with the stance that you're taking. In the Free State, water and sanitation is an issue across even some of the communities in the Eastern Cape. Why then should that electorate believe what's going to be said here?
No, let's wait and then debate what has been said, whether it's just promises or what. But we will be able to demonstrate that. Of course, challenges keep on coming up. We are faced with the challenge of urbanization. As the townships and the urban areas expand, you will have new challenges of bucket system for temporary settlement and all of that. But at the go, we have done away with that. But it keeps coming back as we have new settlement expanding in the different communities. And I think we'll be able to demonstrate what the ANC have done and the challenges that we are facing going forward.
And how can then the electorate even trust the ANC governance, given its own challenges of not paying their employees for the last 3 months?
The non-payment of employees is not a financial mismanagement. It is a donor funding and challenges of ANC that is facing like any other political party. Political funding has proven to be difficult and drying up, and that is the biggest challenge. It has got nothing to do with mismanagement of funds or so on. It is a challenge that any political party will face in our situation. And in this particular instance, the ANC is faced with that challenge. Democracy is expensive, and that is why the funding model for political parties must be revisited, and that is what is important going forward.
Okay, then as a head of elections, I have to ask you about the video that's circulating of the Treasury General, Paul Mashatile, giving congregants money. Some may view this as inciting voters to vote for the ANC.
No, I think that is a distortion, honestly, and it's an exaggeration of lies. We know that when we go to church, we do offering, and that's what happened in all churches. So it was not buying of votes or anything of that sort. It was the TG in his interaction doing the offering to the church. How does that become the biggest issue even when it is clarified? It is a clear demonstration that when people run out of ideas to criticize the ANC on real issues, they simply pay attention to those issues that have been clarified. That it was not. In fact, the people who were with the TG, that he was giving money for them to do offering to the church, are his own staff that was accompanying him. We have been clarifying that since yesterday. Despite the truth that has been said, it becomes an issue because people don't have issues. If you tell me that the people of Venda are having potholes, that's what I would like to clarify. How are we going to close potholes? Why should we be trusted with power when we go to our people with the challenges that they are facing? Those are real issues that we as the ruling party accept. We need to clarify. That is why our campaign, it is a campaign that demonstrates incumbency, where we have done well and where we have not done well, and what we are going to do like Soweto. The Soweto electricity crisis is as old as more than 10 years. And there are a bouquet of challenges that we are facing here. Prepaid, people don't want it. Others want it. People want flat rate. How much? 200 rand. But when you use an electricity of 1,000, and then the destruction of transformers, which is what Eskom is fixing, I can tell you in the next 2-3 weeks, that particular issue of Eskom in Soweto will be resolved in other areas.
Okay, Eskom issue will be resolved within the next 2 weeks. That's the head of election in the ANC, Sally. But I want to quickly bring in the mayoral candidate of the Tshwane local municipality for the African National Congress, Kgosi Mampia. You'd remember that in the 2016 elections leading up there, there was a compromise candidate, Togo Titiza, given the factional battles within the ANC in Tshwane. So they placed in Togo Titiza with the electorate not wanting none of that. The voter didn't go to the elections, therefore leading to the a compromised position where you have to now govern the DA with the coalition party. How sure are you of a win now?
Thank you, Aviwe, and to the viewers at home. The African National Congress in the last 5 years never governed here in the city of Tshwane. You know, there was a coalition of the EFF, the Freedom Front and COPE, and the DA leading the coalition. You know the failures that we have seen. We are not going to go back there. What we want now is the futuristic outlook. And our outlook is very simple. We want to bring capital investment in the city of Tshwane, bring decorum and respect to the city, make sure that the lights work, make sure that we know we have piped water to 85% of our residents here. We have electricity to the 85.4% of our residents, coming back from 1996 when we had 57.4%, but today we are having 85%. There's 80% more people who are having access to basic services because of formulation of the city of Tshwane in the year 2000. Now, in the last 5 years, we have seen a dismal failure of 4 mayors that were brought here by the DA and collapsing the system as such. We want to move on and say that we want to complement our workforce by bringing skills in the city of Tshwane that are going to run what we call an eclectic approach in human capital, in fiduciary duties of due skill and care to make sure that we look after the resources of our people. We want to fight corruption. We want to stop the ills and the challenges that we had, you know, of corruption, maladministration. Even the DA came here with a clean governance slate. You know, they employed people without qualifications. They employed people without who lied on their CVs. Even the current mayor lied about his CV recently. So all we are saying as the ANC is that we want to forget about that. We're asking our people, give us a chance in this election. We have done mistakes, we have learned from them. We are accepting and being accountable and said, we made mistakes before 2016. We are not going to go back there. We are on a new page now in 2021. Please give us an opportunity to run. We humble ourselves in front of the voter, and we are saying we want to take you forward. We have the track record, we have the experience, we have the history, we have everything it takes to run a clean governance from our mistakes.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Kgosi Mampia, the ANC electoral candidate for the city of Tshwane, as the party launches its manifesto here, trying to reclaim the metro that they lost among some of the other metros that were dealt a heavy blow, leading to unprecedented times back in 2016, where we saw for the first time coalition governments across many metros.
Thank you so much, Aviwe. And yes, we will keep an eye on events as they unfold. And when Cyril Ramaphosa speaks at 7, we'll certainly be taking that live. But let's now go to Manqoba Mchunu, who is at Church Square in Pretoria. What's happening where you are, Manqoba? Manqoba, I know it's very noisy where you are. Tell us what's happening, if you can hear me. Manqoba, can you hear me? It's Sally. Can you hear me? All right. It's obviously not possible to hear me. I hope we will cross back to Manqoba Mchunu at Church Square a little bit later this evening.